how we are gonna do. Money can't help you. Rich man I feel it too. God is nearer than he must be nearer than all together. It is of the life. Strongest of the strong shall see the light. We can't judge the light. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough. We never get enough. The Lord is nearer than. The Lord is nearer than. Yes, He must be nearer than. Things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough. We never get enough. The Lord is nearer than. He must be nearer than. How we are gonna do. Money can't help you. Rich man I feel it too. The Lord is nearer than. He must be nearer than. Oh yeah. This is the strongest of the strong shall see the light. We can't judge the light. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. If you have strong faith, you must stay alive. try your best. Nevertheless, do all the good you can. Good will follow you. Don't you know it's true? You're grabbing for yourself alone. You're grabbing for yourself alone. I'm sure. Bountiful.
Greetings, we there with you. You know, say, those of you who been listening this platform are things in time. You know that. Our saying, so we just don't come out. You understand? We have developed something and we are stay with it and we're going to get better and better. May I tell you? Come here.
My brothers and my sisters.
I will still a look at Black History Month because it a fade out and we are fade it with you, the audience, the people, the subscribers, you know what I mean? Oh yes, click that button and everything. Show your appreciation and give us some views and comments and everything. Oh yes. Come here, big youth.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. want to learn to live in love and unity, and things would be better.
Yeah, Marcia, tell me, say, watch, I leave that for a little more. You understand? I'm telling you, when you hear them words, and I've seen them words, they're profound words, serious thing. You understand? And that's us in the diaspora, years and 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 years ago, still a think about the continent, our ancestors, and we want to go home, we want to try to liberate ourselves. You understand? So people them who don't really give us a thought seem not to understand and appreciate the journey that we've been through. And most of the time, the people that is trying to explain things to us naturally and with good intention miss something very important, something they're missing. And something that they're missing is that they know themselves and them know them culture and they know their people. Them know how to walk. You see? Yeah, them know how to walk. They know how to talk. They know how to embrace. We don't know them things. We hear about those things. So when you think about us and consider us as a people in darkness and a people who have just been trying to carve out life and survive, then you will understand something which is very important, key factor about us. You know what I mean? We're not erasers. We're not disgusting and disrespectful and all of that. You understand? But we're highly emotional. Why? Because we don't have the foundation that you all have. But you all think that we do. You have this perception. It's the wrong perception. You need to go into social science and analyze us. And there are millions of us, not one and two that you meet when you cross the road or something. No, that's not it. And we're polite. We're respectful. But we're easily triggered because, again, so our predecessors have carved a way out to survive on the plantation and off the plantation, and then as servitude slave up to this point. So you all need to take some time out and assess through social science, and not assess, examine us from near and far. And the conclusion would be there. You need to aid and support us. We don't need your money. We just need that harmonious connection called love and understanding. If you don't come with love, you cannot exemplify understanding. So what is it that you're trying to do? If you're trying to do something. And the best our family on the continent can do is see themselves as teachers and instructors and help us. Don't see that and then undermine us. Oh no, we understand that. And we'll put up a serious defense and attack at the same time. But you come with love, we're good. But you all have to first remember something. As this is Black History, I call it African History Month, one of the months. You understand? Is that you have to meet us more than 3/4 of the way. You understand? You have to meet us. And you have to have tolerance and sustainability for us and with us. All those things we've been crying for decades. But who's been paying attention and listening? We have come of age and we have died. We've come of age again and we have died. So the cycle continues. It's not there's something wrong with your old ears. It's just that you all are too proud. You're too proud. And true to education, you neglect us. Somehow thinking that we are not educated or we cannot be educated. I don't know where that comes from. But then again, it's perhaps has something to do with language. You know what I mean? We were mimicking our captors. And then decades and decades, we were not allowed to speak. Now, y'all should understand, since we couldn't speak and we don't know what they're about, how could we have read? See? So we were people that was erased and then transformed. And look at us now. We're trying to fit in with the captors of our parents and our great grandparents and so forth. So you need to understand. This is Black History Month. It's very dark on our side. Because we're trying to create light for ourselves. And some of us, like me, we've embraced it. Al-Islam. Getting close to you, our ancestors, our fathers, our mothers. And that works to a degree. It works to a degree. Seriously. Because we can pray together, we can lead each other in prayer and everything else. But in terms of social standing in life, nah, that hasn't shown any sign. You know? So, what is embracing needs to be expressed. Because Al-Islam is all embracing. But from that cultured, ethical point of view, you all have to embrace us. There's lots of our brothers out there need wives. But before they need wives, they need to be adopted. Yes, they need, we need to be adopted. Why? Because we learn some African roots and African culture and African values. You understand? So, make this journey of African history, and we can also make one of Islamic, Black Islamic history in the diasporas, all about adoption. You all need to adopt us. We're ready. That way you would teach us values from an African perspective, not from a European, Anglo-Saxon, colonialist perspective. No, we don't want that. We've had too much of that. And neither do we want to become Indians or Arabians. No. We want to be us. Yes, we want to be us. We don't want to adjust to other people's images and bits and pieces of their culture. No. We want African culture and African roots and African values. You understand? So, quit trying to change what you think is erroneous and get down to adopting. Now, you don't have to physically adopt us, You can adopt us by educating us. You understand? Culturally educating us, morally educating us. And that's got some sustainability. That's not no 1 day, 2 day, no lectures. No, it's a long term, you understand, commitment. I don't know what you all read when it comes to social science, when it comes to ethical principles, but you read a lot about Islam. So why don't you go into leadership and cultivation? Yeah, because when you're going outside in the planets, all the galaxies, you're missing us. We can't ride with you. And then you have the audacity to be thinking somehow that we're not appreciative or we're mixing and blending like you all don't. You know what I mean? Help needs to be not on its way. Help needs to be exemplified quick, sharp. So start adopting, and find time to teach, social development, ethical development, moral development, roots development, culture development. And you will see how quick thousands and thousands of African Caribbean in this country will be sitting in and around you, because we need guidance and we need to be adopted by people who generally cares about Al-Islam and the morality of Al-Islam and the principles of Al-Islam via the Prophet's, peace and blessing upon him, instructions. We don't want to be up in Mars. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go Saturn. We don't want to go station on the moon. We don't want to go there. We want to feel free as Africans and Muslim. Yes. So we can also be a bright torchlight for our children and our people and rescue them from the tragedies of this life in the Western Hemisphere, but this life in this world. So you all, if you think carefully about us, you would have want those things for us. Don't sit on the fence and use language from the colonialist masters out of the institutions of higher education and use that rhetoric on us. No, that's not nice. You're not recognizing that we are educated in Anglo-Saxon education. Don't fool yourselves. Right? So if you understand anything about human beings, you've got the tool to touch our souls. You've got the tools to teach us humanity. You've got the tools to resurrect us, because we were dead or are still dead. You got the tools. What are you going to tell Allah? I knew these people, they're around me, they were near to me, but I didn't know how to teach. I didn't know how to instruct. And he would tell you, your spiritual enlightenment that I've given you, you were too busy. Not a good doctor. Not a good psychiatrist. This is Salih Hisham Lukman, may I tell you, man, a deep, so reconcile with everything I've said. Perhaps one of the brothers can translate and make it simple. Because sometimes people say, I speak in parables or riddles, incomprehensible. You're lying because I'm too direct. It smacks straight in the heart. It does. Once you take 2 seconds and follow me and listen to those words, because I don't mix them. It might be long, but each one of them is a serious punch. Each one. Whether it's a left hook, whether it's a right cross, whether it's an uppercut, is direct. And the people I'm speaking to and I'm speaking about, I love those people. I care about those people. I wonder if those people care about us the way we care about them. And I'm saying we now because in general terms, there's more than me. There are more than me. I'm the calmest one. Believe you me, I am the calmest one. Because I put the words together and they're not written. They're coming out of my heart, not my brain. It's my heart that's at work. It's always at work. But I use my heart before I use my brain. When I use my brain, that's because someone is putting up a defense. A defense, and I'm ready and raving to attack. But my heart is what I use. Yes. But before I leave this part, we are spiritual people because we are still you. So don't underestimate us. Do not underestimate us. All African Caribbean children of the slaves into the diaspora, we are all spiritual people. So do not underestimate us. Don't belittle us. The thing is, we don't know what you all know. We don't know Islam like that. But if you pay attention to us, you'll see that we've got African roots all over us. We're no different to you all. It's just that all we know is Anglo-Saxon life. Okay.
He's free, but take away the only two. He's free, but take away the only two that he has to use to enjoy freedom with. Take that away from him. Put him in the world and tell him he's free, and take his legs off from under him. Take his arms off. Most of you don't know it, but the crucifix itself is a sign of what was coming upon the world. Not that Jesus the prophet is done like that, but a people that's born without father, a people that's born without leadership, a people that's born without of a mother having no father. Mother means society. Father means leadership. So Jesus is a sign of what's going to happen to the world, or what was going to happen to the world. The ancient people knew it. The devil himself knew it. And the devil himself put the image of Jesus on the cross as a sign of what the devil was going to do to the world. That he was going to bring the poor masses, those without leadership, without social fathers, without governmental fathers. Look how long we lived in America, 300 years, without a father in government to defend us. Is that right? Almost 300 years. A whole people lived in America without a father in government to defend us. Now, if you want to see a real strong sign that has all of the connections with the crucifixion of Jesus, look at our people for almost 300 years hanging on the limbs of the crucifiers. Now, you want to see Jesus? don't look back there 2,000 years ago. That physical thing never happened. Never did they take a man and hang him up on a physical cross like that. You say, well, how did we get that story? From the builders of grafted artificial mentality. From the builders of the lie that was fabricated to put you in the condition that you're in. That's where you got it. Now look, brothers and sisters. The Holy Quran says that Jesus is a sign. Not only is the man a sign, the book says that Jesus and his mother are a sign. Is that right? Not only the man is a sign, but the mother too is a sign. A sign that there's going to be a people born in a society who has no father to acknowledge it and will have to cry to a spiritual father because that's the only father they'll be able to identify with. Do you understand? And the world will mistreat it, reject its goodness. And who can you find any better in the world than the poor? If you want to get a feeling from people's hearts, don't go to the rich. If you want to get a feeling from people's hearts, don't go to the learned. Go to the poor. Go to the ignorant, and you'll get a feeling from their heart. Look. Jesus was a sign of the heart that's in the poor. Sign of the heart that's in the ignorant people. And the pouring out of that blood, brother, is the pouring out of your life. Not the life of a man that was supposed to have been crucified 2,000 years ago. The nailing of the hands was not the nailing of the hands of a man 2,000 years ago. It means that this big block of the public, this big block of people, because they had no father, and they spoke from the only thing they knew to speak from the heart, from the Spirit of God in themselves. They had no eloquent tongue to defend themselves in the halls of politics and science. So all they could do is speak from what they had. That was the Spirit of God. Is that right? And for doing that, they nailed the hand. It means make it impossible for you to be financially successful. Nail your feet. It means make it impossible for you to go away from a persecuting environment to a better one. You can't even walk out of the world. Everywhere you go, you carry the burden of a stigma on you. You're a nigger and a beast of prey everywhere you go. Is that right? So though you're moving physically, you're making no movement at all. Your social feet are nailed to the cross. Is that right? Now look at the book, you see yourself. The book says that Jesus and his mother's a sign. Now study the Christian teachings, and you'll find that the preacher knows about it. You'll find that Jesus, his mother, Mary, is just one Mary. But there are two more Marys in the book. In fact, there are many Marys. But there are three major Marys. Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary, the sister of Martha, Mary, the prostitute that was reformed. Is that right? It is talking about nothing but the three types of society. That's all it's talking about. Society have leadership on three levels. One is on the level of the doctors of law, the political leadership. Another is on the level of the spiritual people. And right at the bottom you have those that don't have any leadership. Is that right? Jesus was born from both. His mother didn't become righteous because the Jews taught her righteousness. His mother became righteous because she belonged to a people that had no place in Israel. And they had nothing to turn to but Almighty God. So Jesus' mother, being a sign, a symbol of the poor people, the rejected people, she became the holiest of all. Do you understand? All right. So Jesus was born of that woman, that rejected woman, that woman that had no real husband. Is that right? Woman that was accused of fornication and adultery. because nobody would own her children. Is that right? All praises to Allah. Okay. So if you want to see Christ, see yourself. They laughed at Christ, mocked Christ. Here is the fool that would be king of the Jews. Let's give him a crown of thorns. That's what they have done to the masses, the deprived masses of the world. They say, here are people that once had a glorious seat in the high places of ancient civilization. Asia and Africa and the islands of the tropics. Let us now give them a crown of thorns. Racism. Jesus Christ, your Savior. Democracy without a taste of democracy. Christ without a taste of salvation. Let's give them this crown of thorns that pierce into their brain and kill the nerve centers. See, a thorn has needles on it. And Yaqub, he had the nurses stick needles into the brains of the newborn babies, you understand? So here this crown of thorns got needles on it that pierce the head and go into the nerve centers and numb the brain. Give him a crown of thorns. Laugh at him. Say, here is the king. Look at the king. Is that right? Says they put on his head a crown of thorns. And when they didn't just let the thorns be placed on his head. Says they crushed it into his head. And they show the blood coming out of his head. We think it means blood. Doesn't mean blood. It means your common sense. They press upon your head the hypocritical teachings of freedom and salvation through faith in the Trinity. And that thing piercing into your mind kills your brain and make you bleed out all of your common senses. You think I'm joking? You think I'm just talking to charm you or to interest you? Go get any authority on the Bible, and I'll do it this evening. And if you're tired, I'll stay here by myself on the floor. And just let one man stay here to report it. And I'll prove to you before the preacher, before a bishop, before a pope, before a rabbi, if Jesus could appear right here himself and disagree with me, I would make him confess that I speak the truth. Allahu Akbar. I'm not speaking from guesswork. I'm a scientist. I've tested my findings by every rule of scientific investigation. And I've also received the word from heaven saying it is done. So you can play if you want to, I'm not playing. And if just a handful of people follow me in sincerity, we're going to shake this world up and down. And going to bring back milk, whole milk, milk that you see cream on top of. This old world's leadership got weak, and people on the low levels of society began to see the defects in the heaven of the wicked world. They saw that heaven wasn't as shiny and as pure as it looked to be. They began to question the knowledge on high. Before they began to suspect the knowledge was wrong, men without great knowledge just couldn't accept the conduct of a world that claimed to be right and was behaving as though it knew nothing of any righteousness at all. The Honorable Frederick Douglass, in one of his addresses, perhaps you read it in Jet magazine, indicted the Western leadership, America, with such clear, clean-cutting words. That he brought converts even from their ranks to support the movement for justice. Is that right? Powerful and eloquent orator. Great man, Frederick Douglass. But before his time, there was Nat Turner. Black man that couldn't understand a society looking so beautiful in the face and being so cruel in its kicks, kicking him down in the dirt, stumping him under the ground. So he rose up not being able to diagnose the disease in the mind of the Western society, but he just knew that what they preached and agreed with their actions, and rose up and rebelled, lost his life and a few lives of his slave brothers, but he sure left a mark, a pain in the conscience of the beast we call Western civilization. Is that right? Behind him others rose. Frederick Douglass with his preaching, he awoke the conscience of American Caucasians. Is that right? But before he awoke enough conscience, there was a fanatical Caucasian, John Brown, who read the Bible and he couldn't reconcile what was going on with the teachings of the Bible. So John Brown, a fanatical Caucasian, got on his horse and got him an army and went out trying to slay slave masters. Is that right? We're talking about leadership. Where did this come from? Where did Frederick Douglass get his leadership from? Who led him? Who missioned John Brown? Who missioned Nat Turner? All praise is due to our Lord. There was a man called David Walker. Is that right? A slave. Up north, trying to enjoy a little freedom. David Walker preached, and if you could get the book called the David Walker Appeals and read those appeals that he made to the conscience of this artificial mentality, you will bear me witness that that man's preachings compares with the preachings of the prophets such as Jeremiah, Daniel, Ezekiel. Those men didn't preach with any more spiritual and moral effectiveness than did David Walker. That man preached, I'm telling you, and his word went home. But do we know of any prophet of the Belialians in America? No. Man, I preached the prophets of Israel, but didn't get one single Belialian to say, this is our prophet. Why? Because we were thoroughly destroyed. thoroughly dead, completely insensitive, 5 senses gone. Is that right? Crown of Christianity upon our heads, loaded with deception, loaded with lies and deceit, killing our 5 senses, so we couldn't respond to any great leader. All right, that wasn't all. Behind them came Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, great men that championed the cause of the dignity of the Bilalian people in America. Is that right? Great men, great orators. But how much support did they get from us? We followed them as long as there was a sizable number of Caucasians praising them. But as soon as the Caucasians stopped saying he was great, we forgot all about the greatness of our great hero. Is that right? Couldn't get any leadership in America, could we? No, because the whole atmosphere, all of the thoughts in the air is designed for your mind to breathe in destruction that will poison and undermine the development of strong leadership. You don't want no leadership. All you want is Jesus. Somebody that you can't identify with. Somebody you can't touch, you can't walk with him. You can go and see him, and you come off your trip, you walk with the world. Identifying with dead leaders, bygone leaders, or people who don't have any governmental life in their bodies. That's all they can do is identify with dead leaders. In the history of our people, the only successful man has really been myself. I am the only one who has been successful in coming up without support and keeping the forces intact, saving the leadership. You might say, well, didn't your father do it? No. When Master Farrar left my father, his movement went down to almost nothing. 10 years passed, nothing. 20 years passed, nothing. It took him almost until 1948 to get something started again. But Almighty Allah blessed me with the knowledge of the tricks that goes on in this world. Not just on the physical plane, but on the spiritual plane. And way up there where the fire is, where the light of the sun is, he showed me the devil climb all the way up to the sun. Showed me how he go up to the sun and bring fire down from heaven. So he couldn't destroy this. Didn't know how to come at me. Heard me speak and say, what in the world has happened overnight? The man don't sound like Elijah. Don't sound like Moses. Sounds something like Jesus. Has Jesus returned? Yes, he has, in full force. All praise is due to Allah. So our great heroes came up, and as long as they could attract the attention of the Caucasian, we were attracted. But as soon as the world forgot them, we buried our leaders. All praise is due to Allah for this day and time. Noble Drew Ali preached, turned people away from the Christian church, turned them away from the Christian culture, turned them toward Morocco. But how successful he was. Soon as the Caucasians attacked him, the majority of our people turned their backs on him. They are stronger now than they've ever been. Then along came the silk peddler. That old strange Arab that didn't act like no Arab, and certainly didn't act like any Western Caucasian person, but looked like a Caucasian and used names, titles and expressions and symbols and names of the Arab people, but taught something that looked totally different. Is that right? Sneaked in under the cover of darkness, sneaked in under the cover of symbolism, and left a heavy symbolic message. And he knew just where to put it. He didn't give it to the political-minded Bilalian or to the academic-minded Bilalian. He gave it to the old Southern Baptist-minded Bilalian, whose only knowledge was symbolism. Because you know the preacher, he's preached so much symbolism until he forget his tongue sometime and just start saying, see, that preacher, he talks so much code language, and so sometimes he get out of touch with his code and he start going into his own code. So Master Farrar knew where to bring his symbolism. He brought it to the son of a Baptist preacher who was dissatisfied with the leadership of his father. Is that right? One who wouldn't be so much concerned about changing the teachings of Christ or changing the teachings of the Old Testament. He wouldn't care because he never accepted it anyway. He had his own ideas about the book. Is that right? So Master Farrar searched all over the streets of Detroit and elsewhere and finally found Elijah Poole. And he dropped that heavy symbolism on Elijah Poole. Along came Elijah Muhammad, a man that was put on to the tricks of the Caucasian mind and had faith enough in his teacher and in the teachings that he got to hold on to the formula regardless to what. If the formula don't produce today, hold on to it. In the 1930s, the formula didn't produce for Elijah Muhammad. In the 1940s, the formula didn't produce for the arm of Elijah Muhammad. Even in the 1950s, the formula didn't produce for the arm of Elijah Muhammad. Am I correct? But in the 60s, man, oh man, that formula started to produce for the arm of Elijah Muhammad. Look how long that man had faith in his teacher. Why he had faith in his teacher? Because his teacher was wise. His teacher saw that the strongest thing in America among the Bilalian people was Jesus. So his teacher told him that I'm Jesus. And Elijah Muhammad accepted Master Farrar as Jesus. There was a place in his heart for Jesus. There was a place in every so-called Negro's heart in America for Jesus. So Master Farrar said, I'm Jesus. And Elijah Muhammad opened up his heart. Said, yes, you must be Jesus. Because you sound like what I've been looking for and what I've been thinking and what I've been feeling. I can follow you. I couldn't follow my father. But I can follow you, Master Farrar. So Elijah came out in his fiery garments with his violent and fiery tongue, turning the altars into fire, the sweet waters of Scripture into fire. Is that right? Challenging the false prophets of the church. Telling Jezebel, come on out of your hiding place, woman. You wicked, filthy, no good, shameful thing. Stop hiding behind your aristocracy and come on out here and let the world see your shame. Is that right? Now Elijah Muhammad, fiery tongue, mean preacher. Is that right? Now, he came and he was kind of, uncivilized. See, that Elijah of the book, brother, he was a little uncivilized, wasn't he? He ordered his men, I think, to go cut the heads off of the false prophets, didn't he? After defeating them, he wasn't satisfied. The man wanted to draw blood. cut the heads off. He was kind of savage, you know. But the book says before the awful and dreadful day of the Lord, Elijah must come. Is that right? See, if you have had an awful and dreadful time, somebody have to rise up in the spirit of that awful and dreadful time and start doing some awful and dreadful things to awake the mind of that awful and dreadful leadership. This was Elijah. So the book said Elijah must first come. Is that right? All praise due to Allah. But after Elijah comes Christ. Is that right? All right. Christ, he's civilized. He don't flood the rostrum. Elijah said, throw barrels of water on the pulpit. I'm going to turn it into fire. See, Christ didn't come like that. Christ came walking in quietly. Is that right? Came in like the quietness of a tornado that's coming. Comes in quietly, everything is so quiet. And all of a sudden there's thunder and lightning. Christ didn't do it. His presence did it. Is that right? But Christ didn't bring down no thunder and lightning. He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. Christ was quiet. Is that right? But his quietness caused a disturbance in the atmosphere that was like the quietness before the storm. So his very presence brought about thunder and lightning and the shaking up of things. Is that right? All praise due to Allah. The predictor said, oh, this is the end. The Nation of Islam is getting ready to go down. That new leader, he's reversing everything his father taught. He's not politically wise. He doesn't know how to pick up the tools of his father and get his people's confidence before doing those strange things. They didn't know that a new man was on the scene. Is that right? So they hadn't been taught like you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says the one that come after me will be a new man. Say the one that succeeds Master Farad will be a new man. Saying he will do all things in accordance with his own knowledge. Say he won't accept anything of the old. Say he'll change everything and build a totally new world. Is that right? All praise due to Allah. All praise to Allah. I wasn't looking for any man to join me. I was looking for empty vessels to put men into. And I found a lot of them in the house of Elijah. Because his job wasn't to put men into empty vessels. His job was to pour out of the vessels that pollution that had been put into them. Is that right? Look what happened now. After so many great leaders made the sign of their life known in the womb by pushing, thrusting their foot into the side of the stomach. You know that baby when it's in the womb and is ready to come out, man, sometimes it hit that woman's belly so hard you see his elbow jutting out. Is that right? Press it and say, let me out of here, I'm gonna get out of here, you know, it's time to come out. Well, we had leaders like that was hitting those sides of the womb, the belly of this society, and making their presence known. We couldn't see them. Leadership hadn't been established yet, but we saw that there's something in there that was awful strong. Look how long J.A. Rogers worked with the pen. Look how long he appealed to the minds of our people. All praise is due to Allah. And many others. Hammurabi used to go all over the East Coast, come all in the Midwest with his films and his lectures, trying to bring the birth of Bilalian leadership. Is that right? All of a sudden, God began to give help from within and without. We had our John Browns to help us. We had the Quakers and others. We had a few friends in government. But the season changed. A new season came upon the earth. And the mighty of the world didn't look so mighty anymore. The old Russian bear rose up and began to do things that made himself look as strong and producing miracles as the Western leadership. Then something else developed that was awful powerful.
Yes. Very powerful transformation. Imam Worthy Muhammad.
Black man down, black man down. Every time I turn around, someone is yelling, black man down. Chains removed from their hands, but not off their minds. Walking in the streets, but you're still walking blind. Leaning back, thinking you have time to recline. Selling your soul for a quarter or a dime. With no drive to stay alive, no instinct to survive, fatherless daughters and sons, the system has already won, brainwashing has begun, so they meet their fate at the end of a needle or at the end of the barrel of a gun. Black man down, black man down. Every time I turn around, someone is yelling, black man down. No value to education, no loyalty to family preservation. Selfishness is their occupation, the jails are their destination, the streets are their proclamation, dirty money is their asphyxiation. Self-preservation is the true translation, but will surely destroy the nation. They do not realize how they make themselves disenfranchised. Life value on a shelf, not long due to bad health.
I hope you all are paying attention. Still, Black History Month. Fading out, leaving you all with a message. Ourselves with a message. Understand what things and times, culture expression, what we are dealing with. Listen. Education, information.
Black man down, black man down. Every time I turn around, someone is yelling, black man down. Chains removed from their hands, but not off their minds. Walking in the streets, but you're still walking blind. Leaning back, thinking you have time to recline. Selling your soul for a quarter or a dime. With no drive to stay alive, no instinct to survive, fatherless daughters and sons, the system has already won. Brainwashing has begun, so they meet their fate at the end of a needle or at the end of the barrel of a gun. Black man down, black man down. Every time I turn around, someone is yelling, black man down. No value to education, no loyalty to family preservation. Selfishness is their occupation. The jails are their destination. The streets are their proclamation. Dirty money is their asphyxiation. Self-preservation is the true translation, but will surely destroy the nation. They do not realize how they make themselves disenfranchised. Life value on a shelf, not long due to bad health. Alcohol and drugs is their elixir. Prostitution and gambling is their trickster. Still answering to a term called nigga. Black man down, black man down. Every time I turn around, someone is yelling, black man down.
That's one of our sisters. Yes. And we're bringing serious conversation to the present. Listen.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone could learn to live in love and unity, then things would be better.
Wow, Marcia, you're bright, you're bright, you're bright. May I tell you, that's why you're with me. Come here.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone could learn to live in love and unity, then things would be better. Not only things would be better, but the world would be better. All right. Walking down the streets in Africa, Africa, looking at the sky in Africa, searching for a place which is Africa, Africa. And there's no need for wars in Africa, Africa. Don't you know that it's true, that for me, and for you, slavery abolished. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto. Wondering where I'll find peace and rest. Somewhere there's a home, sweet at night. Got to give it up. Now I get. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you, slavery abolished. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto.
Very serious about here. You see? That music, that rhythm track, that rhythm must have touched. Yeah? And many a man remember it and think, say, wait, where am I going with? You understand? Because a long time something. So we want to depart, you know? Yeah, we want to leave the space and let everybody digest, what we have projected. You know what I mean? We can't help it. So we stop, so we stay. So we want people understand what Imam Worthy Muhammad was saying and don't get it twisted. He wasn't saying that he was Jesus right here. And I need to understand the symbolic understanding because our people just gravitate to that. So where I say, see we here, listen to us and understand what we're striving for. We need to leave toxicity, park it, and move over, cross over. And tutory reminders, constant reminding, constant, and reflecting on what we were doing and what some of us are involved within helped us to transform ourselves. Not by force, but by conscience. And by true reflection and assessment and evaluation of ourselves and our families. And we were able to eliminate toxicity and mind our own business and move away from racism and the whole dogma around racism. Take that part of our mind and use it wisely for us, for ourselves and our family. So we had to become responsible people for ourselves, our family, i.e. first, our children. Not that the racists weren't there, but the toxicity of all of that, we were able to remove from our system, allowing us to be somewhat free in our souls. See, so we took care of our families and we became responsible adults, responsible peoples. Very important. Not the message of what the white man is doing. Not the message that damnation is coming. No. We need to live. We need to move forward. And we need to receive the mercy and the glory of the Almighty. Yes. And slowly but surely, we examined the light. And we still are examining the light because we have received the vision. No one can take it from us. It's a long journey, but perseverance was the key. So we are going from here, and we leave this so that young people, them, parents of young people. Listen to lyrics we played earlier today. Come again.
Them boy they are going like bad man, and them don't know what bad is all about. Ooh yeah, them are one day bad boys. Cool it, don't rush it. Cool it, don't rush it. 'Cause when you rush it,
Yes, so we I said to you, we give birth to children. Should we not be happy and thankful to the Almighty and the mother who gave birth to that child? Should we not want good, the best things in life for that child because of the happiness that the birth of that child brought to us? Or is it that the child grows and we disconnect from the moment when that child was conceived? What happened? And then we witness the child develop, but we're not the key influence in that child growth. Then we witness, or we hear that that child now is a ward of the state. It's in juvenile detention. That's the child that made us happy on the conception. That's the child that we witness grow, balance itself, crawl around the place, creep around the place, cry and wear and tear. And then we show ourselves to be very happy. But what happened on that journey? How is it my child finish up as a water state in juvenile detention, penitentiary? Or is my child become a victim in society? Ward of police and a liver among prisoners? How is all this happening? When did I deflect from that first moment of joy and happiness? Are we not thinking? Do we not have heart? What is it? And we're flesh and blood like other human beings. There's so much questions, and we have all the answers. Why aren't we ashamed? If we were ashamed, we would have changed that situation. We would have removed toxicity from among us. Our preachers, our ministers, whoever they are, would have been on point. All those religious dogma people do not deal with developing life. Them deal with prosperity church preaching, and them deal with all this thing to make you feel so that them had a vision from God, and they will tell you that God told them, and they were walking, and God come to them and tell them this and that, making God obsolete, because God knows that all our children, so much of our children is in juvenile detention, penitentiary. A lot of our adults are in prisons. We're not doing good as a people, as a cultured people, as an African branch from that tree. And you tell me so that God was walking, when you was walking, God was talking to you, and God tell you to do this and tell you to do that. And it has nothing to do with us being a respectful set of people and a responsible set of men and a reliable source of women. I mean, what happened? You're making this thing a joke, because God not work that way. God would have tell you, say, listen, minister, you're not dealing with life. You're selfish, you're greedy, and you're exploiting. And God would have make you stop talk. Because you run your gum and no sound will come out. Like an amplifier, the fuse blow. Yeah, the fuse blow. There's no output. I tell you. We need people, sincere, honorable people, that have the courage to stand up and speak about our decline and how to make the adjustments. Not people who want to sit down and take YouTube propaganda and everybody think, Google propaganda and everybody something. And the continent is right over there, so with universities and everything. And authentic information about themselves, which is us also. The only thing is that we've been over this side of the equator for all 450, maybe 500 years in captivity. That's the biggest difference. So shouldn't we see ourselves wanting to learn and link with our African fathers and mothers? That's one solution. That would break the spell of all the different religious persuasion, and we're all in the same boat. Because we all want to sail the same way, we want to fly the same way, we want to run the same way. So in simplicity, there's a result. And the last message, those peoples who keep saying that Christianity is in Africa, find out the origin of Christianity before you say things like that. If you're saying that the Godhead was in Africa, yes. If you're saying that prophets were in Africa, yes, they were all over the world. God sent them to different nations and tribes due to their conditions, circumstances, situations. Different ones. There were hundreds, thousands of messengers and prophets. So stop it. But the word that is being used ain't nothing to do with us. And the next word that's being used, Jew, nothing to do with us again. So every time we jump out our fire, we jump back in another one. I don't understand how ignorance can work like that. Seriously. And we believe that we're alleviating ourselves from one class of bondage and we're going deep into another one. And it's the same. When you check the thing out, it's the same thing. It's the same. Just got a different heading. It's the same. And then for those who are now being trickified, they tell them, listen here, you're Hebrew, you're Hebrew. They don't say you're a member of the 12 tribe, you're Hebrew, you're Hebrew. And now we have a lot of our strong young men, especially there in America. And many of them have come through the gates of juvenile detention. But they're out there being attracted by costumes. But nevertheless, they're out there. But they're being guided down a road, up another path belonging to the Europeans again, and not being educated, supported, and don't see Africa. But they're going to remain as followers and voices of the word Hebrew and Jew. So we ain't moving. We're not advancing. Because all you have to do is reflect on the whole journey after we came off the plantation, realizing that we can do something for ourselves and so on. We haven't declared independence, but that whole thing about liberating ourselves from mental slavery, we've evolved in the same process time after time. Different face, but same process. Different voice, but the same process. So we say as Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us and guards us and try to tell us about playing amusement, how destructive it is. Disruptive and destructive it is. So what we've seen of our evolution in education and economics and all these things is that some of us have been given a big bag. Not given, we earn a big bag. But since we're not socially and spiritually adapted to the understanding of who we are, we forget all the hard work that we applied to reach that level. Whether it's in basketball, whether it's in football, whatever it is, and there's millions and millions. And we just ain't understanding. We haven't understood. And many of us are crying and suffering in silence. Because we can see the potential out there. All around us. But the system that detracts us is far superior and wiser than us because we're following their mechanics. That's how simple and easy it is. And they don't have to do anything. We just continue to follow their mechanics and expect. So I don't know what we expect. Now we become dishonorable people. We're hurting, seriously. And then you have some wise persons turn around and tell us, or say here, there, and everywhere, that religion caused this. They're right in some regards. But if we put all the religion on the table and examine the contributions from those religions in relation to us, you'll get a clear picture and an understanding of what is required and what is not required. I'm saying that. So let's not lose our children because of our misinformation and miseducation. Let's stop being so dogmatic and ignorant. Accept it. That's the main thing about life, You have to accept when you're wrong. Or when we're gone wrong. Or when we don't know, say we don't know. Don't pretend. And confuse time, place, and peoples, including ourselves. My platform says we need to develop trust because all the bad things that we've done over the time, why should anybody just come out to them yard, go to a venue, listen to someone saying that we need to do this, that, the other, and how we're going to liberate ourselves and so forth. But it's more easier to advertise a dance. Because we're still oppressed. So a dance helps some of the people. And it's easier to get a place and start preaching. But the preaching has to be based on Jesus. If it's not King James, it's not working. It's not going to work. So I'm looking for a person who calls himself Christian to develop a relationship with me, and we both address the African Caribbean community areas around and about London. About building life, living life. Serious thing. So we are going. Guidance, we are say.
Morgan Heritage. Yeah, man.
We now see the world
Capri. See it.
through brand new eyes.
It's real, nephew.
Whoa,
See it now.
yeah.
Put the conscience. You hear that?
Money in your pocket and you have a hot car. Your friends call you hot star. You think you rich, yeah? Look at the bigger picture. Them up we have just a number. And say we name and work a thing. And if we want fame, then we have to sing. Play a bar, run track and now start a thing. While them collect the ring, them up we have just a number. And say we name and work a thing. Position of power, it control everything. If we not up there, then we not reach nowhere. Then we not reach nowhere. Yeah. Sign a lifetime contract. You still love a boss.
Still love a boss.
And if you violate your contract, you will lose it all.
We'll lose it all.
Yeah, don't be blinded by the few that they let through to brandish millions, even billions. It's all a part of their plan to have us chasing dreams of fiction. Yeah, them are we are just a number. And say we name and work a thing. And if we want fame, then we have to sing. Play bar, run track and now start a thing. While them collect the ring, them and we are just a number. And say we name and work a thing. Position of power, it control everything. If we not up there, then we not reach nowhere. Then we not reach nowhere. Yeah.
With diamonds and gold, many they control. Now don't you be blind, know that it's all for a time. They want you think to support your brother, it is a failure. They rather you give your money to stranger. Now are you picking up, picking up, picking up, picking up? Now be wise.
Them up we are just a number. And say we name and work a thing. And if we want fame, then we have to sing. Play a bar, run track and now start a thing. While them collect the ring, them up we are just a number. And say we name and work a thing. Position of power, it control everything. If we not up there, then we not reach nowhere. Then we not reach nowhere. Yeah.
Simpler times call for simpler things. Breaking it down, simpler goals call for simpler strings. To be pulled, connect the dots and build your kingdom, my king. Cherish the days we live long enough to see our dreams. Top of the heap, careful not to get too deep. Code of the streets will lay you out and put you 6 foot deep. Hustle day and night just to survive. And if you make a mistake, they come and number for life. Yeah.
And say we name and work a thing. And if we want fame, then we have to sing. Play a bar, run track and now start a thing. While them collect the ring, them and we are just a number. And so we name and work a thing. Position of power, it control everything. If we not up there, then we not reach nowhere. Then we not reach nowhere.
Yeah man, Morgan Heritage to the year 3000 and beyond. That to say, XTM Nation to the world. CTBC, yo.
So, we're sit here now. Black history. See we family?
Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war at all. Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war, me brethren. 'Cause if I want me, I go walk you out. 'Cause if I want I go talk you out. We got to live and love each other and learn to teach one another. Yes, oh yeah, yes, oh yeah, yeah. Wicked men sit up in a Babylon, preach love and still a study war. You better mind what you doing, my brother, 'cause you should never, never grieve your mother. No, 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 no. Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war at all. Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war, me brother. Don't study up, no. You should never, never, never. No, 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 no. Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war at all. Nobody win the war. Nobody win the war, me brother. Don't study up, no. You should never.
See, that we want. What you're seeing on the screen, that we want. We want that in abundance. You understand? Yeah. Children being children, not children. Yo, seriously. You understand me? Yeah. So we say guidance. African history still a go on, still a take place. So may the Almighty show his mercy and blessing on all of us.